let's kick it off. If someone misses
Okay,
the beginning, they can always watch the recording. It's right here on YouTube.
that's right. Now in YouTube, not in Twitter, X, Y. I have no idea what it's called now, but
XYZ.
XYC. Good riddance. So, welcome everybody to the August 11th AMA. You know, we've been doing this for over a year at this point, and we meet to share what's going on with the game, with the community, answer questions, share news, a leak or two. As Sage says, we like to walk the talk. So, let's get started. What's first on the agenda, Farmer Michelle?
Oh, the first thing on our headlines is earnings.
Earnings. Okay, so that's on me. Well, actually, it's usually on Kesera, but he couldn't make it today. But I can tell you the following. So we are hard at work with the tokenomics model. We've had around 3 revisions already, and it's going back and forth between different people. We're just making sure that it's as good as you guys expect it to be. Bitbender is involved too, intense discussions with him. So hoping to get some, like how they call it, white smoke soon, and have an answer to you guys. Is that not a thing in English? It is in Spanish.
No, oh, it is. It's like the papal thing, right? When they pick a new pope, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
No, I'll jump in too real quick. So people might be going like, why is this taking so long? I'll tell you what, because, namely Casey Rosser and I were going over all the details in the model, all the assumptions, because we really want to have the best answer we can. And as we watch, we mentioned we're looking at what's going on with spider tags. We're taking the lessons from that. Plus the old, believe it or not, we've got about 3 or 4 different other economy models over the last couple of years. We're just trying to figure out to make sure how we can create something that's exciting for players and works. It works with the future plans for what we have going on with the game. So that's what it's measure twice, cut once kind of thing. I'm purposely asking us not to rush this out, and that just means to take a little extra time.
Yeah, I mean, building a whole economy is not it's your work. But it is rewarding. So we're hoping to get something really good on your hands as soon as possible. So that's our update on earnings. A bunch of revisions, but still a little bit to go. But we are actually working on that. Thank you, Sage. Farmer Michelle, what's next?
Looks like we're going to discuss that Townstar Legacy is going to be taken off of the website. I think that's going to happen next Wednesday, the 16th. We're going to take that right down off the website, so we don't have to worry about anyone accidentally clicking on it or joining the wrong game.
Yeah, so we moved the game all the way down in the list. We kept it up, for people to have as reference, and for a couple of reasons, but it doesn't make much sense now to keep it up. So we're just letting everybody know the game will be taken offline next Wednesday, August 16th at 10 a.m. PST. So that's the last time you'll be able to access Townstar Legacy. So that's your notice.
Yeah, I'm going to share one note there. Our IT guys, or DevOps guys, told me earlier in the week or last week that there's about 200 people logging into that. So if you're one of those people that has a link set to that, or I don't know, maybe somebody has some bots logging into that, it's going to be turned off. No reason to be playing it.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's move on to we got mobile updates are next.
Mobile updates. I think that's me too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like everybody, that we've discussed a lot about mobile improvements for mobile browsers first. The eventual aim is to have native apps, right? Have go to the Play Store and download the latest Townstar. But first, we want to improve the mobile browser support in both Android and iOS. I'm really happy to say that we have finished that effort. The game it should be fully playable in Android and iOS. It's possible there are some specific devices that may have some issues, but if you have an iOS device, either an iPhone, an iPad, or you have an Android device, you should be able to log in, check the game out, and play. It has some changes to how the UI works, so you can drag, like if you're placing a building, you can drag it around. and it's working really great. So we're really happy with that. That's our first step towards, getting to a wider audience, which I'm going to talk about a little later. But yeah, we're really happy with that. Please go and play it. Remember though that we don't accept multiple connections for the same account at the same time. So you have the game running in your PC and you get into it with your phone. One of those is going to be locked out. So just be aware of that. But yeah, really happy about the mobile support, and please go check it out.
Oh, looks like the next thing on our agenda is me reminding everybody that the Town Burn to Gala ends in the middle of September, September 15th. So if you haven't yet burnt your town, turn it into gala, you should definitely do that. If you don't know how to, reach out and I will remind you how to do it. And that's about it. I think most people have probably done that already.
If you know other people that haven't, that may have town lying around, but maybe are not here, let them know.
Yes.
They have around 5 weeks, like 4 weeks to do that. So please let everybody know about this.
Do we have any social media updates? Ninja Surprise?
Yeah, I was just kind of thinking about how you said like burning town or burning your town. Like it just sounds so like dark to me. Like a town burn. Like when you stop and think about it, just like yeah. There's a lot of towns being burned right now. It sounds really really apocalyptic.
Sounds morbid.
Really morbid.
Whoa, dark days.
Just kind of like dawned on me right now, but okay, yeah, a little social media update for you guys. So yeah, the Zealy rewards went out to like half of the top 10 winners, and I do understand that some of the other winners didn't yet receive their their reward. So the reason for that is because of some Discord issues, because Discord changed the format of how to retrieve their usernames. So right now, we basically have to go by your Gala or your Town Star display names. So I've DM'd some of, basically all of you guys asking for that, basically for your display name. If you can, if you still haven't received your rewards, they should be going. The rest of them should be going out today to those that gave me their display names. If you still haven't contacted me yet, please do so today, or try to contact Michelle. Either of us is fine. But yeah, definitely try to get in touch with us so then we could try to send your Zealy rewards. These are the first ones to go out. And then yeah, just like a little shout out to our friends over at Voxverse. They're celebrating their Voxiversary. So shout out to them. Really, they're celebrating a little milestone going on right now. And yeah, I just wanted to spotlight a couple of Zealy participants that have been engaging with us, and they've been actually producing some really cool tutorials. So if you go check out our Instagram, we've had about, I believe, 4 or 5 tutorials. A majority of them have been produced by Service. Service has been producing a lot of tutorials for us, and we actually had a really cool tutorial that I shared on Twitter about how to make ice that was made by NFT Drops. So yeah, thanks guys for making those tutorials. If you guys want to take a shot at making your own tutorial, feel free to do so. We'd love to see more of that content. And that's basically it for social media.
Awesome. I do love to see new tutorials. It's fun to see how different people do different things, because I know how I play, but it's definitely always fun to see how other people go about like getting the gasoline fast or making ice blocks. I do love a good tutorial. Plus, I love Town Star, so it's fun to watch other people play. What are we moving on to here? Looks like Volcron's got some stuff he wants to talk about.
Yeah, well, throughout the week and a bit last week, I was occasionally dropping into Discord asking people like, "Hey, would you play a game mode like this or that?" We'll talk about that in a bit, but let's put out some ideas for useful things we could do with our nodes. We discussed it last week as well. Nodes are uniquely positioned to do high compute things. That's nice, but there's other things it could do too. What do you guys think about some of these ideas? So we have dozens, but these are some of the highlights from our meetings over the last few weeks. How about a try before you buy mode? So if you own a node, you would see not just casual, not just events, but a third category of towns, which would be like experiment or preview. And if you're a node owner, you could go into that and place NFTs in your town that you don't own, but ones that we're interested in showing you. Maybe we have a new one coming out. Maybe we want to revive one that's still for sale in the store, or we just want to draw attention to one that statistically a lot of people own, but not a lot of people play with, something like that. So, yeah. So, what's that? Let me know what y'all think about that. Another option would be build your own tournament. So, if you own a node, you would use an interface on an app, probably just a built-in web server on your local machine on your node that would let you build all the rules and the metadata for a competition, and that this would run for a certain amount of time. You'd say who could play in it, and then this would run on the public Townstar Live, just like it does now. But then, of course, you'd be responsible as a node owner for figuring out how you want to distribute those rewards. So we would provide the platform, you would provide the config and the rewards.
This is my favorite idea, by the way. I think this is great. So why don't you guys tell us what you guys think? Because we're in full ideation mode for nodes right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Yeah. Okay. A little bit of feedback there. Dubstep, Jetty. When would we play them? Well, that's up to the people creating Kemrar. So
yeah, it would be sorry
sorry.
to interrupt.
Yeah,
it
go
would be
for it.
something like, if you're a node owner, you get 1 ticket a month or something like that, or 2 tickets a month, and you can use that to set up your competition. You can tell us what things you want in it, all through an interface. We like, you wouldn't communicate with us, but through an interface in your node, and basically say, hey, I want to run this tournament, and I want this thing in particular, this graph, to have more stars, like this many stars. You could potentially change other things, like increase the speed of some units, or other meta changes, and then set up the timers, right? And say, from this time to this time, and these people are whitelisted, right? So something like, your node would give you, would allow you to whitelist a number of people to play in it, and then those people would go into a certain mode in the game, and they could see your tournament, right? And they can access your tournament and play. We wouldn't touch any of the rewards, as Vulcan said, because we shouldn't have to. But we do provide the access. I think that's kind of the idea. I really love it.
Yeah, it's a good way to describe it. Thank you. It's pretty exciting to think about that kind of stuff. Another one would be, and this is what some people are asking about, how about an NFT interface, or you might even call it a library for your guild or for your team? So the idea would be you would list out, as a node owner, you would use a control panel to say, here's the NFTs that I own that I want to loan out to my guild. And then whoever is associated with with your node, whoever you add to it, could use those NFTs. That would be kind of neat, especially if you're going on vacation or you don't have time to play that competition. Your friends could do it. Wait a sec for responses on that one.
Wait, so basically the people who are whitelisted again by the node owner,
Yeah.
like if they go to a town, they go to the Gala inventory, they would see a new tab, something like guild NFTs, right?
Yeah. That would be really neat. Or even, rented NFTs. Because I imagine somebody as a player, you might have 5 or 6 friends that own guilds. Or maybe we would, what do you think, Musashi? Would we limit it to you can only be part of one guild at one time? Or
I mean, that's up to debate, but that's part of the ideation process we're in, which I think it's been super inspiring for the team. Like, we have nodes, we know that they're pretty cool. They haven't been, we need to make something with them which is really cool for the game itself and gives actual utility, right? So I think this has been a great discussion that has been going on all throughout the week. So that's what we're discussing, also some of these options with you, because you are the end users of these things. We're gonna gauge what you guys think, what sounds cool, what things you may use, because sometimes users want something or say they want something, but they don't necessarily use it. So we want to also build something that we're sure that people will use a lot. So things like Build Your Own Tournament or loaning NFTs, I think it's pretty cool. But you let us know, like, here later throughout the week in the different forums or discussions with Farmer Michel. We want all the feedback you guys want to give us. So just go ahead.
Yeah, Billy says he would personally prefer production monitor and leaderboard access outside of the game. So that was another Node option. It wasn't really in our list to talk about today, but yeah, using the Node as an API proxy so that people could hit up Townstar for API data, but only through Node owners' sites. I guess the last one would be kind of leaderboard bragging rights. You would configure, like we talked about before, like if you've got one or more nodes, your name would maybe be more sparkly in the leaderboard, things like that. So that's just like 4 or 5 of the dozens of ideas we had for it. And just to close out that topic real quick, I saw a couple comments like, questioning why we're even asking the audience for ideas on this. We have lots of ideas and we could just plow through and deliver something, but the whole point of Web3 is collaboration and talking to the people that use the product and all that. So that's why we're here to talk about it. So sit on our nodes.
And I'm seeing great conversations in the Discord. So thank you everybody who's joining in. I see Dapsa Rod asking about API for Townstar Playbook. The Townstar Playbook is awesome, man, by the way. So thank you so much for putting that together for the community. It's very exciting to see that people are, looking for, building on the ideas that we're sharing. So thank you, Fulcrum, for that. Thank you to the community. And let's just keep that rolling. I want to hear all the ideas you may have. Okay, are those the ideas we're sharing, Fulcrum?
Yeah, that's probably all we should probably move on to other topics for now.
Yeah, Farmer Michel, what's next?
I think we're jumping into art early this week. I don't know if Sage has his art ready.
Oh, of course I've got art ready. I just got to find my
Nice.
Discord window here. Find my mouse, pull it over Discord, pop these images on there. 1 second. Gosh. Isn't that funny when you can't move the Discord window? Okay, here we go. Got it all queued up. I'm going to drop in a couple of things here. We're going to show some cool stuff. One moment. Gosh, I feel like I have 10,000 windows. I'll tell you what, say something else while I'm getting my screen set.
We're seeing that in the
there you
YouTube.
go. There you go. Okay, so you got it up there. One of the things I want to do here real fast is show you a little bit of a progression. And are you popping them all up there? Can you see that? Okay, let's start with that one there. So you're showing that image, and I'll pop these into Discord in a second. So we're looking at the Wizards Workshop there, and you can see kind of some of the original, and as we did some progression and some changes on those wizard buildings themselves. But one of the things that is just always problematic is the size of those puppies, right? And how they obscure stuff in the background. Like if you wanted to harvest that wheat back there, click on it, you'd have to kind of maneuver your way a little bit around that building. So one of the things that we're doing, and let's go ahead and switch to the next image, is this idea. If you see that middle one there, that's just what I call an art hack. That idea of how do we set the proportions of the different floors properly, right? This is an old hack we learned in strategy games a long time ago, basically ISO camera games, where the first floor you make it a 1x height, second floor you make it half the height, and what our team is doing is, what happens when we get the third floors and fourth floors? What's the ratio on that? And so that work's still being investigated. We're trying to figure out the right thing to make it look good and make it feel good, but also just reduce the size. Okay, so you can go ahead to the next one there. And if you look in the middle there at the, let me pop it up on my screen so I can see it too. At the Haunted Mansion, you can see the old and the new, but that guy still suffers from being super tall, right, on the game board. And if you look at the image up above it with the red notes on it. You can see the 1, then the 1/2, then the 1/2. That kind of explains, what we're talking about in terms of getting the proportion right. You can also see there, Sushi Chef is going through a little bit of a rework. My note on the original one, it looks a little bit like Mickey Mouse ears. So we want to get past that, and just having that idea of hair being a little bit kind of misshapen is an idea. But I think that the feedback I had on that one is, what if we just kind of take that headband and changed it up a bit? It's taking up so much space on that person's face. Up on top, you can see the animals, and chicken and the sheep there. One of the things, again, as you're looking at those guys, it's really easy if we zoom in and you see the chicken, you want to put a lot of detail into it, make the wings all look nice. But you guys know how big those are on the game board, right? They're tiny, they're micro size, right? So we want to be really careful about putting too much detail and too many polys into an object like that when you don't even actually get to see it. Okay.
But it's the chickens. I mean, they're a staple of Townstar. They need to look beautiful.
Yeah, they do. They need to look beautiful. But the point is, you don't want to have 1,000 polys in one of those guys because we're just going to be able to see them, right?
That's
So it's always a trade-off. It's always a trade-off, right? One of the ones that's a head scratcher for me is Legendary Lumber Storage there. I popped those image up in Discord so you guys can see what we're talking about. The lumber storage there, it's just really kind of weird to me, but we're trying not to redesign all the art here, and just do that. Pumpkin patch, there's the concept there, as well, so you can see what's happening there. You could go ahead and pop those other images up there. You see those, yeah.
The haunted mansion looks beautiful.
Yeah, Haunted Mansion. And this is another one, if you look at the original concept, and look at the top, you see all those little spiky fence post things there? Wow, when we try to scale this down and get it to look, a little tighter, a little more compact, you don't need all those spiky fence posts, right? And so that's another one of those kind of trade-offs that we're doing. But yeah, that's a cool one. And then, up on top, the cow, another case in point. The original 464 tries. When we look at the new one, 1,000, more than double the number of tries. And my feedback was, except for this kind of the square butt on the original, you're not seeing a lot of squarishness, right? And so I'm questioning, what do all those polys or those extra tries add there? And so let's, the feedback was, let's go back and do another reduction on those. Cool. Let's pop to the next. You can just throw the next set of images up there directly, because these are just kind of other work in progress bits. Okay.
I think the next thing we're moving on to are game updates from Volcron.
Oh wait, we still got a couple more pieces.
Pieces
of art to throw up there. Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and drop them while we're waiting. Drop them inside of Discord so you can see them up close and personal.
Do we have some info around art resale that we may want to share in the meantime?
Do we? I don't know. Musashi, do we? Do we have a schedule? Do we have a plan?
Yes. So if everything goes well, guys, you'll start seeing the art improvement starting next week. It will be an ongoing process. We'll put everything that's approved. We'll get it into the game as soon as we can. You guys, of course, can check it out, give feedback, and it looks really good. Like, we're testing it right now. It looks really good. We'll get final approval from Sage and then push it out to you guys. And it will be an ongoing process. It's a bunch of assets, and then every time we get a new batch, we'll keep pushing them out. So expect these art resale to start next week.
Nice. Yeah, I've been waiting. It's going to be exciting to roll this out. Originally, we thought maybe we could do it in like sets of tranches, but just as we kind of been pushing forward to it, I think I mentioned this last week, there's a little bit of shift in scheduling from the art outsourcing house, and I figured just get this rolled out there so we didn't have to have a separate build with the new art versus the old art. We just all start working from the same page. And yeah, we do a quick update, a quick review next week, and I guess it's either in staging or a specific build that we have for it, and then we'll just start rolling it out. So the plan, the idea is each week as we get new art in and it's approved and done, we just go ahead and release it to everybody. And it does, as Farmer Michelle says, the it's not only just the art of the objects on the game board itself, lighting, everything like that. So yeah, so we're all trying to work very hard to keep assets with the lowest poly or tri count possible. One of the stipulations is, great, we don't want to upgrade the visuals, the art, and then kill everybody's performance. And so the team's been working hard on that. I watch it every single week. You can see in the pictures, number of tries original, number of tries new. And every time we go through that in the art reviews, I'm like, how do we get these tries back? If they're over, how do we get them lower? And if they're under, it's a mini celebration.
But they also look much better, which is the incredible thing, right? So we're
yeah.
optimizing and also providing, a better experience. So
Yeah,
it's a great
that's
job,
definitely it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't realize that even the better looking ones were low poly. I've only seen it in the test environment. That's great.
Yeah, some of them are higher because you get for example, if you have a circular object or a sphere or something like that, we don't want it to look squarish or with a bunch of edges on it. Some of them we can't do it, but most of the cases we can, or we do some other optimizations. Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. You guys want to move on to game updates about maybe Fast Forward?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So there were definitely questions about, hey, this NFT doesn't work or that NFT doesn't work. So I'm going to show you guys just some screenshots about some of the tests that we do. This is game logic related, and let me get this in the stream first, and I'll paste it into Discord. So I've sent a message to our helper elf. So this is a very simple one, right? So this one, upload failed. Ping. Well, there we go. So this one is growth requirements, right? So we have enough proximity for water. We have enough to store a fixed amount of wheat, and we're testing proximity effects, right? So watch it go, however much time it takes to fill up the silo, and then rewind and fast forward, reset everything, fast forward, make sure that it matches. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward, right? The next question would be like, well, what about NFTs? What if you get rid of all those pawns and you do the same thing with the Noir Hero, because this is testing proximity logic, but also NFTs. Anybody who's not familiar with, the internals of our game might not know that you have to make separate network calls to different services to get things like your inventory. And that can change while you're playing. If you swap your, move an NFT out of your wallet while you're playing, for months now, we've had it that it'll get yanked off your board. So one of the thoughts was like, hey, we need to be really careful when we test this, that mid fast forward, which only runs for at most, a couple minutes, a few seconds, whatever, we're not querying the inventory at the same time, and that we do successfully get it and wait on it before we fast forward. So that's one of them, right? Next one is, let me get number 3 here. So this one, somebody actually brought up this morning, was about the beacon of light. And the beacon of light, in particular, the ability to remove shady. So one of the tests, default kind of tests we have around that is have some windmills around your wheat. We have no passive water except for the Noir Hero, and no wells. So the only way that wheat can grow is from the Noir Hero, and the only way it can grow in time is if that beacon of light removes shady, right? So that works. That's all game logic. Now here's where the interesting stuff comes in, because, this is great, but this doesn't reflect the reality of, let me share, for example, one player was like, hey guys, I'm sure that my cash and my stars are not coming out as fast in fast forward as they are if I just let the game run. And sure enough, we had missed one detail in that. And let me share I've blurred out his build, but I'm going to share this anyway. So part of our tests, you take a live, somebody in the top 20 or so.
Why is that all blurred out?
Because I don't want to share his build, right? It's his top secret strategy to winning.
That's true.
But this is me running locally, right? So when I play on my PC from 1994, that's great, Rocket Unit. So, yeah, so Family Man in particular was messaging us and other people were too. And he's like, hey, the stars in the cache are not lining up. And he was absolutely right. And share all. Oh, everybody's sharing now. Okay. And so the good news is that it's not game logic related. It's not NFT logic related, things like that. There is no difference in how the game runs in Fast Forward. The difference is the deltas between each run. So if you've ever done any kind of, or you just look at a physics engine, you'll see that there is a time delta. So working into that should be an easy fix, and our tests are pretty sufficient on that. Can always get better. So, oh dear, Versace. So, and then the final one, let me show, this is going to be a little, let me see how Discord handles this. Plain text. Oh, I'm not going to share the video just yet. That's for something else. But this is just an example of a test script that we run. Now we of course want to automate this. We want to make it better. We want to pull in the top 10 players as towns automatically, run them, have state before and after, and make sure it matches. As we get more sophisticated tests, we'll get better results. But so far, finding this one bug, yeah, we're fixing it. So that's the update on the Fast Forward.
Oh, I thought we had a video or something.
Oh, the videos for the upcoming feature.
Oh, right.
I have an MP4 of that video too, Volcron, that I can
thanks.
pop up when you're ready.
Thank you.
So just to cut through all the Star Trek technobabble. Sorry, basically, we do have an issue that we encounter. It's not your NFTs, like they're not. They're actually working on Fast Forward. The simulation is working exactly like it would, like we always said. We just have a different type of bug. We're fixing it as soon as possible. It will be out, probably before the next competition. We'll keep the feature on for now, though. That's a summary, right?
Yep.
And the good thing is that, you know what, guys, we're trying to test everything, but these real-time tests with real users is what gives us the most information to find these issues, because Fast Forward is complicated. So we really appreciate everyone's feedback and, providing your towns or your IDs or any information that helps us pinpoint the issues. So thank you, guys. Thank you, Volcron.
Yeah.
So what's next for Michelle?
Well, it looks like we're moving on to discuss the notable fixes and stuff that happened this week.
Oh, okay. So I'll make this very brief. Just go through the list. So we did several pickup and delivery prioritization fixes for phishing content. Also energy adjustment for certain NFTs like the phishing platform. A lot of people were asking about the Z issue. When the building is like showing the Z's, but it shouldn't. That's fixed. We fixed the salty salt field along with the Maze Zone 3. There were some deliver sync improvements, and of course the mobile, as we mentioned before, we finished our mobile effort that included a resolution fix for iOS devices. So you had an iPhone or an iPad and you had issues seeing the whole screen. That should be fixed now. You can check that out. Then for features, we added a percentage indicator to Fast Forward, which I'm being told people found really useful. We're also now displaying placement requirements on floating building info pop-ups if the requirements are met, right? So basically, when you see red, I think that it says now why why you can't place that thing. Either you're not next to a road or something like that, which is great for new users too. Regarding data, we pushed the new Salmon Nigiri competition, which is close to over. And for NFTs, we added the Crafty Shrimp Farm blueprint and the advanced fishing platform and aquaculturist apartments. So those are all the updates that went out this week. Along with I missed something, which is the fix for, we had an issue with start count this week. We identified that pretty quickly and we fixed it, a couple hours later. So yeah, that's also there. Farmer Michelle, back to you.
Awesome. Let's see here. What other notable adjustments and changes are happening this week?
Yeah, we did that.
We just did that.
Yeah.
I got lost. Sorry, I got a new cat, so my cat's jumping up on my computer screen now and interrupting our AMA. What's coming up next for the game?
Wait. Before that, isn't that the premise for Freakazoid?
Is that a
Like
movie? If it is, I haven't seen it.
Oh shit, I feel old now. Okay.
What
I'm
is
not gonna-
Freakazoid? Yeah.
What? It's like
What is
the
that?
best TV series ever. Like a cat run on top of the keyboard, and the guy like gets sucked in and becomes a superhero.
Oh my
Right.
god! I hope I get sucked into Townstar.
Steven
Oh,
Spielberg,
that
really?
thing. Right. Yeah, no, I got it. I remember that. Yeah, I
I'll
never
have to
watched
check it out.
It's super funny. Okay, so what's coming up next for the game? I'll start. So, as I mentioned before, mobile is super important. We finish that effort, but then the next step is a simple FTUE, right? So right now, players are coming in, like new players are coming in. They're being dumped into a town, and they don't understand anything that's going on. Like they don't know what to do. They don't know, what's the objective. They don't know that there's gas death or cash death. So we are implementing a very simple FTUE to start, right? What? Guess what I saying? You're old. That only came out around 1997, man. It's the same
Yeah.
as Animaniacs. Animaniacs.
You're not
guys?
that old.
I'm a little old, yeah. So okay, so going back to FTUE, so with the great improvements done to mobile, next step is FTUE. The idea is for the new users to get some early information they're not getting right now, as well as a hub for more resources, right? So basically, this thing will act as a hub for them to go to Discord, to video tutorials, to the playbook from the community, all very important resources. We expect that to be out in the next 2 weeks, more or less, if everything goes well. So that's our current plan to gauge new users. So, mobile FTUE, try to get some new users to test, see how it performs, and then take it from there. So we're really happy with how that's coming along. But we have something that is coming out way sooner, right, Vulcan?
Oh man, that's something I've been wanting for quite some time. Whenever you want to share the video, yeah. So, and then I think Mark had converted, Sage had converted from my MTB to another format. Oh, he's already pasted it in there. So guess what, guys? We're adding a search feature. That's right. Finally, yay! It's cross-category. So as you can see in the video, if you type HA, it'll cross everything. If you type wind, it'll cross everything. And I had to add the not final for preview only, of course, because we're still going to add a little button to cancel the search. There's a couple other things we want to tweak, but yeah, it's finally in there, right? Next would be probably, depending on our schedule, we would like to do things like adding, of course, favorites and pinning things and, sorting. So yeah, but this is just to show you something that, we take that interface seriously, and, we're always looking to make this friendlier for new players. So pretty excited about it. Let's see. Well, I don't have videos for the other stuff. I've got 4 or 5 more quick topics. As Musashi talked about, the mobile, we've wrapped up the browser support. Some people are noticing the direction of the spin when you drag. The camera is kind of, could go the other direction, but that's the direction we chose. We might change that. We're really happy with how it's playing, though. Mobile devices. So thank goodness for that. That's a big step. Next on our upcoming features and fixes are disconnects. So sometimes a player, this is a little bit Star Trek technobabble maybe, but when you load the game up in your browser, it's got to find a server, right? Right now it just goes to the server that has the lowest CPU and RAM. Well, sometimes that server's full. of players, and we're refusing new connections. So then you get routed to the next one, which might also be full, and routed to the next one, which might be full. So I'm improving that just to say, send me straight to a server that's not full. It sounds straightforward, but when you've got a lot of layers of tech, it's actually a little complex. So our DevOps team is working on that, and happy to see that come live pretty soon. So that'll reduce disconnects and spinning T's when you're first connecting. Next would be, and I mentioned this in throughout the week or so, we're doing internal play tests on different game modes. So, for example, I think Monday or so I asked about destroy all rocks. What if the competition was just, there are 20 rocks in your town and they cost like 50 million each to destroy. And then it's not so much gather stars, but it's get rid of all the rocks in your town, and whoever does it first wins, that kind of thing. Or maybe there'd be a race to harvest, right? Where we have a goal of like harvest, 10,000 wheat and whatever, and the first to hit that wins. So there's a lot of different ways that you can, working with just data, no code only solutions to different game modes that might be really fun. So we're doing some play tests internally. And of course, over the air updates, you might think like, why do I care how you deliver your data to the client? Well, it matters because right now, if we have some categories of data, you have to refresh your browser, and that's not a great experience. So we want to work on the over the air updates and get them to a point where we can deliver that. It'd be pretty exciting. And people keep asking about GalaChain. Mentioned last week we're at 56-ish% done with that. There's a lot of talks with, of course, tokenomics, which impact it. But overall, devs working on our GalaChain integration, it's pretty straightforward. It's relatively known work at this point, which adds certainty to it. So we'll keep you updated as that goes. And on the topic of GalaChain, I'm gonna chuck the talking back to Mr. Musashi.
Mr. Musashi is my father.
Oh no!
Yeah,
that's right.
Right. So in the Q&A, we got a couple questions around GalaChain, when GalaChain. So you already covered a little bit, but just a little history on this. We were basically saying, okay, we're working on a tokenomics model. We're going through certain revisions. We want to stop the work on implementing GalaChain because we don't know how the tokenomics will affect it. And then we said, you know what? We need to do this anyways, right? So we got our engineers started. We're still discussing the tokenomics plan, as you know, but we did get a start on GalaChain integration. And I can say that we are estimating, a max of 5 weeks to get this out. When we do the switch, your NFTs will work, but the new NFTs that will be selling and producing for rewards and sell items will be done in GalaChain instead of ETH. So when max 5 weeks, that's what we're estimating. Hopefully less than that, and hopefully that seamlessly integrates into the next step, which is the revamped tokenomics model. So that's the answer. Now I think we can move on to live Q&A, right?
Yeah. Do we have any live questions out there for anybody?
There was one earlier. They were asking at SageMaker, is creating a new token considered in any way?
Sage, is that something that we may want to talk about? Oh.
He may have had to run to that other meeting.
Okay.
All right.
So I don't want to mention anything. There's some discussion you can see there in the chat about, for example, premium currencies, like gems and stuff like that. As I told you before, take a look at Spider Tanks. We're not copying that, but we are looking at it, like what's working, what's not working, so you can get some ideas of where we're heading by looking at spider tanks, which is, by the way, a pretty fun game. You should definitely check it out.
Hmm.
And yeah, so I'm not gonna say anything because I don't want to get in trouble. But again, we've discussed new token, non-new token, like gems, no gems, a bunch of different things, types of emissions. As I said before, we've gone through around three revisions already with Bitpanda and so on. So we'll get more information to you guys. I just don't want to jinx anything at this point. Okay, so next up, wait, I'm seeing some talking about live Q&A. Rocket Unit saying you should join the Sealy and help with meme quest. You know what? I have way more responsibilities now in this game, and I love that. But I do miss memeing in these meetings. I see another question. Namer saying the NFTs on the treasure chest will be mintable to Galachain. I'm not sure about that. What I'm sure about is new NFTs will be produced in the new chain and not on ETH. Right. So that's something that I can answer. There's some talk. There's some tech from Platform Team, which is a separate team, about doing bulk. Basically moving NFTs in bulk from ETH to Galachain. Which should save on tons of gas fees. We are not, we're not responsible for that, but we are finding out all of the information when it's available. What else am I seeing? Soon we will be able to mint our Gala to Galachain, but can we mint our treasure chest? I think that's the same question. Add any item to auto sell. That's a discussion that we're having. Actually, we have an expert. This is, like talking about something that it's, I don't know if you guys care about too much, but we have an expert in the company at UI and UX, and he's going through the whole game and preparing a report saying, hey, you can fix this, this, and that. You can add this functionality. And something that came out was adding any item to AutoSell. Like, even if you don't have it, like being able to say, hey, set up this rule ahead of time or something like that. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff coming up. And yeah, any other questions? If not, then we can move on to what, Farmer Michelle?
Looks like we're moving on to leaks, which is just the competition information.
Wait, we skipped one, right? What about sale items?
Oh yeah, there's nothing for sale this week. So there will be no sales on Monday. There will be no sales on Friday. We'll be right back to sales next week, though.
Okay, so no sale today, no sale Monday, no sale next week. But yeah, definitely after next week's competition, we have some really interesting things lined up. So yeah, let's get ahead to the current competition. So what's up with that, Michelle?
Oh, this competition was Salmon Nigiri. It ends pretty soon here. A couple hours probably. Looks like I got 1 hour left. The reward for this one was a crafty fishing platform NFT. So that'll make your fishing platforms and your wild net fishing faster in relation to rarity. I think it goes from 20 to 10%. Next week's competition, which starts on Tuesday, same as usual. It's like 1 p.m. Eastern. I think it's 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That one's going to be Sushi Boat. The biome for that is going to be desert. We finally got desert. So the whole map's going to be desert. It will have the oil seep that comes with the desert normally. It's a desert north, in case anyone is curious exactly where that's going to be. It will have 2 river sides. They will be opposite of each other. They're going to be on the east side and the west side. The other sides will be probably forest or desert. I forget which one it is, but the reward for that... Sorry.
Desert and rivers for this thing.
All deserts and rivers. Yeah, no trees. All desert and rivers. The reward for that one is going to be the bulky jewelry store, which by rarity is going to increase the storage capacity of your jewelry store. So the top ranked one, the legendary one there, will give you an extra 20 capacity inside your jewelry storage when applied, all the way down to the uncommon one, which will be 10. So when applied, all of your jewelry stores will then have 30 capacity. Yes, sushi boats.
So I posted there the image that you'll see when we do the update and the information. I just wanted to take a minute. We make those little puns on the names of the competitions, on the descriptions. I don't know if people notice them. We have a lot of fun with them. I just want to give a shout out to Farmer Michelle, because she's been handling those for over a month, and I think they're really funny.
Yeah, they are.
But I don't know if you
Thanks,
guys.
guys.
I don't know if you guys check it out. If you guys care, we're just trying to make the game a little funnier with those little puns and descriptions. But yeah, so shout out to Farmer Michelle for great work with that, and also for
Thanks.
defining the starting towns, and most of the competition is passing through her. So that's a great job, Farmer Michelle.
If you guys have any suggestions, send them my way. What else do we have left here? Oh, trade time for that's going to be 80 seconds. It's still going to be 1 gas. And starting cash is going to be 25,000, the same as usual. As a reminder, the NFT for playing in the month of August is the gold ore storage. There are 3 different versions. There's the regular common one, the rare one, and the uncommon one. The common one is for playing, oh goodness, I haven't looked at this in a while. I think it's for playing 10 days. The uncommon one is if you have a Townstar node and you run that for 6 hours a day for 10 days. And the rare version is for playing 25 days out of the month. And that is gold ore storage for this month. If you're ever looking to see what those are, they are listed in Townstar Fact. There's a whole list of all the ones we've done for the last year now. So you can check them out there. All the requirements are there in case you forget what the exact requirements might be to get one of those. And that's all I've got. Gold ore storage.
Okay, so just a recap, we have the Crafty Fishery or Crafty Fish Platform, I don't know how it's called, as reward for today's competition. Then Sushi Boat competition next week. We'll post the information with the started town, all the information there soon. Then Gold Ore Storage is the August NFT. And that seems to be it. No sale today or Monday. So you can participate in the events, and then, well, the reward for next week's competition, you know what it is, we already mentioned it. So you may kind of assess what's coming up next week. But we'll get more information on that soon. And yeah, expect the update to happen, as always, 1 or 2 hours after the competition ends. And you'll get the meta there in casual mode. And before we go on, any last question, guys?
I see that I forgot to mention what the cash boosted item was for next week's competition. It is silica. It's going to be cash boosted up to $3,000 each silica. So a sale of 10 will be 30,000.
You're boosting silica, but we have sandy all over, right?
Yes. So
It's
much
gonna
sandy.
Yeah, it's Anakin Skywalker nightmare, all the sand. So it's sorry, I'm old. Remember, I'm old. Guess I'll say it. So
Well, I understand Star Wars now because I've seen Star Wars since I think it was
Yeah.
Mal forced me to watch them a few months ago.
So you know that sand is he hates sand because it's coarse and I don't know something. Okay. Cool. So if there are no other questions, I think that's it. I see some questions though, like how are people gonna do seaweed? I'm guessing those are questions around salty.
Yeah, guys, the competition's not always going to have every single thing that you need. Just like this last week, there were no rivers, and you still had to make rice, and everyone got through it. No one died. This week, you will have no salty. It'll be okay.
But that's a challenge, guys, right? Like that's the fun part. How do we figure that out?
Yep.
To compete. So yeah, we have desert, and let me check. So we have desert as biome, then we have 2 deserts as super tiles, and then we have 2 rivers. So 2 deserts and 2 rivers. Yeah. So let's see how it goes. Well, if you guys want, I've done this before, and we can do this time. We can set up a competition that runs from Saturday to Monday. No rewards. Is that something that you guys want to see permanently, maybe?
Yes, I saw quite a few people asking for that. I think that people would like that a lot.
Farmer Mitchell, I asked the community.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to butt in.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. So I know that we don't have the stars in casual mode. That's by design. We have other plans for casual mode. But I can set up a competition that runs Saturday to Monday. No rewards. Is that something we want to see every week? Because that's pretty easy for us. Have it available for longer. What's longer? I mean, I can't turn it on today, for example. I think Saturday to Monday gives 2 days, and then one rest day before the actual competition starts. Isn't that enough? I'm seeing Smoogie asking, when jewelry? When jewelry? Well, I think that's pretty obvious, right? But it's coming. It's coming, guys. We have, as we said before, we have a lot of content around jewelry still to go out. We just didn't want to put everything together like we originally planned. Like we were doing, like 3 months of jewelry, like all together. And then we said, you know what, people want to mix it up a little bit, a Smoogie. So that's why we have, 2 weeks of sushi or fishing, and then we'll probably come back to jewelry, and then we'll do something else, and then come back to jewelry. But we are committed to jewelry. We have a lot of content around that. So that's coming. Okay, sounds like I'm gonna set up a competition from Saturday to Monday, and we'll probably make it a staple from now on. And yeah, thank you, everybody. I think that's a wrap. We're already 1 minute over, so like and subscribe, guys. I feel so weird saying that, but like and subscribe. The funny thing is that we have our trusty technician here, Paul, speaking in our ears, and he's like and subscribe.
We need to start making some really weird thumbnails using your face, just like oh my gosh, like those clickbait thumbnails.
Yeah. So this has been great. I think that we gave you guys a ton of information. Search function for the store will be out, I think, today or at latest Monday or Tuesday. Next step can be the NFT inventory. So look out for all of these improvements that we're doing.